Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make your own custom workout plan if you're just trying to gain some muscle, right? And obviously you want to be a little healthier too, but this is a good way for you to start your fitness journey if you're trying to get stronger. And I'm going to get right into it. Guys, the first step is exercise selection. So what I did here is I labeled all the body parts, all the muscles that everybody wants to grow. I might have left some out like abs, all right? That you guys can add that on afterwards, but this is a good ground base to start right here. Basically have chest, back, shoulders, biceps, triceps, quads, hams, and glutes. Now, when you choose your exercises, you want to choose exercises that you know you can progress in. Something like, for example, I put bench over here, and you can put dumbbells or barbell, whatever axis you have, right? Let's say you want to go to the barbell bench. That's a good exercise to progress. There's a lot of room for growth, right? So let's say somebody starts at the bench and they can only bench 135 pounds. If this is an exercise you do consistently on a weekly basis, those numbers will go up fairly quick. And I even put push-ups, which I think is a wonderful exercise, but this isn't necessarily about the exercises themselves, more how you can program them. So I'm not gonna get too much into the exercises themselves. These are just the names. You could YouTube them afterwards. You could ask me personally. I will help you guys out. But this is just me giving out some exercises. And if you follow this one right here, this is good enough. This is a very good workout plan that we're going to create right now. So for chest, put bench and push-ups, right? Back, I got pull-ups and dumbbell rows. Now for shoulders, we got shoulder press, lateral raises, and upright rows. Biceps, I have a dumbbell curl and then the easy bar curl. Those are then for triceps, I have tricep push downs, cable ones, and overhead extensions. Those are the ones you put behind your head and you lift them above your head. Then for quads, we have squats. If you're a beginner and you're not used to like squatting with weight on, you can start with your body, or you can go on one of those hack squat machines that majority of the gyms have. They're safe for beginners. Squats are amazing exercise. I recommend everybody learn how to do it, but that's a different topic. You can't just do squats with weight on. Just go to the hack squat. You can put weight on there safely. Then I put leg press. Then I put hamstrings. I put Romanian deadlifts, and then I put leg curls. And for glutes, I just put hip thrusts. You can use any weight. You can use dumbbells, barbells, or they even got machines that you can use. Now I just went over these really quick, right? My goal when I make a workout program is for each body part, especially the ones I want to grow, to get hit at least 2 times a week. And it's not so much the more the merrier, right? You go, oh, 2 times a week, that means if I hit it 3 times a week, it'll grow more. Not necessarily, and if it is, it's minimal. But right now, I want to hit my chest twice a week, right? So I have a hypothetical schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday for my workout days, right? So if I put bench on Monday, I would probably want to put bench on Friday, right? Because that gives us a little bit of separation here, right? Because you want the muscles to recover as much as they can, right? So I'm gonna start writing these down, right? So I'm gonna put bench here, right? And then I'm gonna put push-ups over here. Push-ups. Now, this is a good place to start right here. Okay, I got chest hit twice, Monday and Friday. Now, when I start putting the next one, like my back, right? I'm gonna just do this right here. I'm gonna pull-ups on Monday and dumbbell row on Friday. So as you can see here, I'm kind of creating a separation between Monday and Friday, right? And there's a method to my madness here. What I'm kind of gonna go for here is I'm gonna go for a schedule where Monday I'm working out my upper body and Wednesday I'm working out my lower body. Now, depending on what your schedule looks like, you can also do torso on Monday with some shoulders, and then you could do arms and legs on Wednesday. It's all depending on you. This is why it's a video showing you how you can create your own workout program. But for the sake of this program that I'm making here, I'm gonna just keep it upper body and lower body on Wednesday, right? So, one thing to consider too is if I'm working out Wednesday, I kind of want to be fully recovered for Friday, or at least close to it if I'm working out legs. So I might put leg press over here on Wednesday because that's easier to recover from than squats. Leg press. So I'm just gonna finish up Wednesday right here because this is gonna be easier because it's just legs, right? So I'm gonna do leg press. I'm gonna do leg curls. No, scratch that. I'm gonna put Romanian deadlifts here. And hip thrusts. So I have my leg day done. I'm gonna just fill out the schedule for Monday. And then I'm gonna put shoulder press, dumbbell shoulder press, DB there. That's shoulders. Now let's get the biceps and the triceps. The biceps and the triceps right here. So let's put dumbbell curls and push downs. Hope you guys are following me here. So we have completed Monday and Wednesday, right? So Mondays I got bench, pull-ups, shoulder press, dumbbell curls, and push downs. There I got my chest, back, shoulders, biceps, and triceps. Then for Wednesday I have leg press, Romanian deadlifts, and hip thrusts. Now, I did a split here. I did an upper-lower split for Monday, Wednesday. But Friday, there's gonna be more exercises if we're trying to hit everything twice. Now, if you're a person that only cares about upper body, right, but you don't want to have a lower lagging body, you don't have to necessarily train legs that hard on Friday if you don't want to. This is depending on what you want to work on. This is the beauty of lifting weights, is you don't have to work out every single part of the body that you don't want to. But for the sake of this program, I'm gonna put them all there, all right? So here we got the push-ups and the dumbbell rows. So that takes care of chest and back, right? So now we got shoulders, right? Lateral raises. This is a exercise that targets the side delt right here, the side of the shoulder right here. I purposely didn't put any rear delts, which is obviously the back of the shoulder. You can add that later on if you're a beginner and you don't have much experience with weights. You don't really need to target your rear delt right away. If you are a little more advanced, and obviously you can put a rear delt exercise on Monday or Friday. But for now, I'm just gonna keep the lateral raises. Those I can put those on Monday or Friday. For now, I'm just gonna put a star next to these. That's gonna be like extra icing on the cake. Friday, I'm gonna put the upright row. Pardon my beautiful writing, right? And then we got the easy bar curl. Again, you can do machine. The exercises in here don't really matter too much. It's just an example, right? So I'm just gonna put easy curl. Tricep, I'm gonna put overhead extensions. Those are where you grab the barbell or a cable and you just lift it over your head, right? Get the OH extensions. Boom, that's done. Now here, right, we got squats left, leg curls, and if you want to target your glutes again, you can put hip thrust. You can even do kettlebell swings, but I'm just gonna put squats and leg curls right here. Leg curls. Guys, we have the exercise selection. We have them split out on the days you need to work them out, right? Now, the next thing to worry about is how many sets, right? So, if you go online and you look up how many sets somebody has to do, it varies. Some people will say 10, some people will say up to 20, and then there's even people that say up to like 50, which is completely ridiculous, right? Here's a rule of thumb for how many sets you want to do. The harder each set is, the harder you push each set, the less amount of sets you need to do. So for bench, if you do 3 sets, and let's say you do 135 pounds for 10 reps, right? and then the next one you do 135, but you can only get 8. If you're benching, get a spotter, all right? Don't hurt yourself. You can only get 8. And all of a sudden, for the third one, you can only get 6, maybe 7, right? That means that you pushed it to that threshold where your muscle's gonna grow. Those 3 sets should be more than enough for you to grow. Some exercises are easier to recover, right? So the bench press, once you get really good at that, it's a little taxing on the body, right? But then we got push-ups over here. If you're progressing with your push-ups and you're doing them with proper form where it targets the chest really well, you can crank out a bunch of sets of push-ups and it will be no issue. So if you do bench on Monday and then push-ups on Friday you can do 3, 4, 5 sets, and you just keep doing till you can't no more each set with the right amount of recovery time in between. You should be able to recover it. Now you can always go back and do less sets the following week depending on how sore you are and if you feel like it's too much, or you can increase it, right? You want to just be able to have a good workout and see progression over time. So for bench, I'll give you an example here, and then the rest you guys can fill in, especially depending on what you want to target, right? And I'll give you an example of kind of what I do in my workouts. So bench, you can do 3 sets. So you can't no more. Choose a rep range up to like 10 reps, and if you could do 10 reps of one weight, but then the second and third set you can't, stick with that weight until you get all 3 to 10. That is a good, baseline. You could adjust as you move forward and as you start getting more accustomed to your workouts, right? So 3 sets for bench. Push-ups, I would do 4. So now you got 7 sets for chest, right? Anywhere between as little as 4, but I'm not gonna say 4. You should shoot for 6 to 14 sets per body part. And I know that's like a decent size range, right? But I'll give you an example of what I do with chest, right? So currently I'm benching a lot. I'm trying to get my bench up. So I'm normally benching 3 sets on the flat on one day and 4 sets on the incline the other day. So that's 7 sets. And sometimes I'll do like a couple push-ups and dips in there to get more volume, right? So I get to 10, right? But 7 should be enough. This is what I'm doing currently to push it a little more. So I'm doing 7 sets for chest. But for back, I'm doing pull-ups and cable rows a lot of times the same day. So I'll do like 4 sets of pull-ups till I can't no more, and I'll do 2 to 3 sets of cable rows. So that has to be 6 sets per day for back alone, right? And if I do that twice, that's about 12. And I guess I'll ask the question, right? Why are you putting more sets for your back than you are for your chest? And that's because the back is such a huge muscle, right? There's so many muscles in the back. It's not just back muscle, right? It's the traps, the lats, the rhomboids, the rear delts. So there's so much more to give it when you go work out your back as opposed to shoulders, right? There's like this part right here, which it actually, when you combine the front side and the rear delt, it's actually a pretty big muscle in the upper body. But I kind of treat each shoulder like its own part. Each part of the shoulder has its own part. So I got the front delt, side delt, and rear delt. So I'm doing 2 sets for the front delt, at least 2 sets for the side delt. And because I am training my rear delt, I do at least 2 sets for the rear delt. So that's 6 sets per body part. So again, not per body part, per shoulder part. So what I'm giving you here is 80% of what you need to get yourself going in the gym. If you guys go to the gym and just execute this right here and work on your form and push each set as hard as you can, you will get a lot of results fairly quickly, right? Because there's a lot of progression that you can do in these movements, like dumbbell curls. If you start off with 15s, and repping those out, I'm telling you, you'll get up to 20, 25s pretty quickly. Then afterwards, it might start slowing down depending on your size. So the basis of this program, right, the way that we are programming our own program is get a good exercise selection for each body part. And let's say you're a guy, you're like, I don't care about my glutes. You can erase that right off, right? Exercise each body part 2 times per week, especially if you want to grow them substantially over time. And then accommodate it to your schedule. This is a hypothetical schedule of somebody that can only go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you can go more, you can do an upper, lower. Or you can do torso and legs and then shoulders and arms one day. You can flip it however you want as long as you're hitting each body part twice per week. Sets, the harder you can go, the least amount you need. So even if you did 3 sets for each of these, right? At the beginning, you're a beginner, you never really lifted weights like that, maybe you have some athletic background. If you could do 3 sets of each of these right here, that's 6 sets per body part, you're gonna grow, especially if you're progressing and getting stronger in those movements, right? So that is the basis. Like I said earlier, that is 80% of what you need. Once you start getting strong and you start like hitting some like walls where you can't overcome them, which you might not even reach that point the first year. Or you start getting used to it and you want to add more. You're like, hey, you know what? I want to add another exercise. You know, I'll give you a quick example right here. You can start adding the machines that everybody likes to use, like the leg extensions, the hip adductors and adduction. So you can start adding on over time. This will be very good for somebody that just wants to start working out and they don't know exactly what to do, or they just want to go and hit random machines. Choose two exercises per body part. Hit them twice a week. Do at least 3 hard sets and get better at making those sets hard, meaning you know how to push them a little harder every time you go, safely of course, and progressing those movements. And that is virtually all you need. Let's say, I'll give you a quick example, right? You're a female and you're like, hey, you know what? Like, I just want to strengthen up my legs and I just kind of want to just train my upper body a little bit. You can make Monday a heavy leg day, Friday a heavy leg day, and make Wednesday just a day where you just train your upper body so it just doesn't, you don't get weak in your upper body. It's however you guys want to do it. But with that being said, guys, this is the basis. I'm gonna get a close-up in case you want to just copy this down, which you very well can. If anybody watching learned anything today, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you feel like this wasn't enough for you to be like, hey, I'm still struggling to make my own program with the equipment that I have and the time availability that I have, leave your schedule or whatever information you can leave in a comment down below during this video, and I can make a custom video for that situation. If you're limited on how much gym time you got, you can only work out twice per week at home, but you can go to the gym once a week, something of that nature. Your schedule, just something that's preventing you from making this program yourself, leave it in the comments, let me know, and I'll make a custom video specifically for your situation. And till the next time, guys.